Hello. So in terms of Steph Book, first of all, I just want to thank everybody for joining us here on Facebook Live. And I want to thank you for all of your responses to the hashtag Steph Book questions. There was one of the questions that came in last night, which was, what do you plan on doing with all of our feedback? How are you using it? And, in one way, we want to give back to you guys. So WWE.com will be putting together playlists of some of the content that you've mentioned you'd like to see, just like we did last week. And we'll be doing that more going forward. But then also it's really helping trigger memories for me. So much has happened in the span of the time that I've been in WWE my entire life, and I forget a lot of things. So it's really, really helpful when I'm reminded of that content, and I get to see what you really like and love, because one of my goals when doing this book is to really give our audience, something juicy and, something that they will hopefully really love and a piece of their content, because, it's called the WWE Universe for a reason, because it's so inclusive and we're all a part of it, whether it's our fan base, whether it's, talent, whether it's employees, whether it's, no matter who it is, if you love WWE, you're part of this universe. And I want to share with everybody this amazing experience that I've had growing up in the brand that we all love. So that's one of the reasons why I want to write this book. And also then I want to share that message outside of the WWE universe. Here's this incredible brand that, believe it or not everybody knows about, and they should, so I want to give them the opportunity to experience our brand, maybe in a different way, maybe a different entryway, and grow the WWE universe and make it even bigger. So just to answer a couple of questions that came in last night on Twitter, which I have here, and then Laura, who is holding the phone, will be asking the Facebook questions that are coming in. So please feel free to comment. Let's see. What was the toughest promo you've ever cut? Best verbal lashing? Ooh, there's been so many. Cutting promos is one of my favorite things to do, especially when the audience gives it back to me. That interaction is just really my favorite. That's my favorite thing, is interacting with the audience. There's been a couple memorable ones. I think most recently it might be when I was, scheduled to receive the Legacy of Achievement Award, and Shane had just come back, and then I had the chance to really it was on Shane, but he wasn't in the ring, and that was a really incredible promo, because it was challenging for me to be able to take my character to a different level, and that was really fun. And also, make some points that I thought were really valid in terms of being a woman, and, why did Shane think he should just walk in and run the business, and, all of that good stuff, all from a character standpoint. Let's see, I think I had a pretty good one with Roman Reigns. Of course, anytime I get to slap anybody, it's, it can be very challenging and impactful, so to speak. I will say Brie Bella packs a wallop. A few years ago when she slapped me on the build to our match at SummerSlam, man, it packed a wallop. So that was good to get it back. And there's just been a ton. I've had so many amazing opportunities. I think, though, probably from an emotional standpoint, a promo I had with Dusty Rhodes was pretty memorable. I didn't mean to get so emotional. That's a little unexpected. But to just have the privilege of being in the ring with Dusty, and he's just been, he was one of my favorite people, and we had a very special relationship, and to be in the ring together was so much fun. And he challenged me because he started to go home. We had a cue when the Shield's music was supposed to hit, and I had like a bazillion points I was still supposed to get in, and he started to go home to hit the cue line, and I was like, oh no, you're not gonna do that. And I snatched the mic right out of his hand, and And he just laughed. He thought it was the greatest thing because it was real and he wasn't going to get one over on me, and he knew it. It was fun, and it was an honor, and that's a moment I'll never forget. So I'll ask Lord, are there any questions coming in on Facebook?
So Steph, what's your inspiration for writing this book? Why now?
So my inspiration, one of my inspirations is what I had said in the beginning, really, is, it's all about this WWE universe that we all love, so much, and giving back to our audience the unique experiences that I've had, and, how it's only grown the love of my brand, and hopefully giving you something entertaining that you'll enjoy, and also really reaching outside of our universe, because so many people they don't understand what's so special about WWE. They don't get it. And, it would be my goal to hopefully educate them a little bit, entice them, entertain them, and bring them into the fold.
Got another question. What stories are you most excited to share?
Oh, well, you're going to have to read the book for that. I can't just give away the stories I'm excited to share. But, clearly, just roughly, times that I had, with Andre or various characters coming over to the house for dinner, when I was growing up for a shoot, coming over for dinner, like when my mom had to make Mr. T liver, and she hated liver, and almost made her sick. Like, she was gagging the whole time she was cooking. Stories, just so many stories that I have to tell. And I think what I'm most excited to tell is my love story, because I think it's one of the most amazing love stories. Of course, I would feel that way because it's mine. But it's pretty amazing, and I'm excited to share it. So I'll go back to one of these. What was my favorite rivalry? Trish or Lita, Brie Bella? Gosh, I mean, they were all my favorite rivalries because each one of them is unique and fun. And you of course, you can't leave off Jacqueline Moore, who I won the women's championship from, but that was, man, every time I've had the privilege of stepping in the ring, I think it's so special. I know that I am not a fantastic wrestler. So having the privilege to actually get in the ring and try to do what our superstars do on a daily basis and tell those stories physically, I mean, it's just an unbelievable thrill, for me. And it is. It's an honor. I know that I say that a lot, but it is. And that's part of why I'm so in love with our brand.
Will we ever see you get back in the ring?
Oh, will I ever get back in the ring? That's, up to the decision maker, and I say but I would love to one day. Like I said, it's something that I truly just absolutely love, but again, that depends. As long as whatever I do helps develop somebody else, and helps get them over, and I know that those of you watching understand what that means, but as long as it does help develop somebody else, that's the ultimate goal of my character, then, it's something I would absolutely love to do. Are you kidding? Who wouldn't love to do that?
What's more fun, playing a good guy or a bad guy?
Oh, a bad guy. A bad guy. It's so much more fun being the villain. It's just, there's a lot of depth and backstory and, twisted rationale as to why villains are who they are, and what motivates them. And, my character has a pretty excellent backstory in terms of all the things that she's been through, and her drive and ambition to ultimately, own and rule the WWE universe and all of the steps that she takes to get there. It's just a fascinating story, and again, it's awesome to play that character, and it is so much more fun. So on that, in terms of being a heel or a villain, what's my funniest moment? I mean, I think ultimately when the heel gets their comeuppance, right, and embarrassing moments, that's some of the funniest stuff, whether it was, Jericho's pie to my face, or, whether it was Vicky Guerrero throwing me in the vat of what I think we didn't even say what it was on TV. We just said it was some gross substance, which it was, I can confirm. I totally got sick. Like, it got in my eyes and my ears, and Sable and I had some pretty good food fights as well. Yeah, we left Sable out of my rivalries. That we had an incredible rivalry too. Anytime my character has been embarrassed has been a funny moment that I've totally enjoyed.
Got another question here.
Okay.
What motivates you most in life?
What motivates me most in life is to be the best person that I can possibly be. It's a question that we all ask ourselves all the time. And that's truly what I believe. I try to be the best I can possibly be at everything that I do, whether that's, being a mom, whether that's being an executive, whether it's being a performer, whether it's training, my midnight workouts. I do that, by the way. A lot of people ask, like, why do you train at midnight? Is there some athletic, reason why? Do you perform better at a certain time? Really, the reason is it's just the only time we have to train. So I don't necessarily recommend training at midnight, but that's when we get to train. So we post our workouts, and, working out is a huge part of our lives, me and Triple H's lives. Because, it really does help you. A, it's a stress reliever. B, it's a way to, mentally it's challenging, and you have to challenge yourself mentally and physically to accomplish your goals. So it's just an awesome feeling when you're done. And also, of course, the health and fitness benefit, and it just makes you have more stamina. You can do more things, and God knows we need as much stamina as we can get with our schedule. So do you have another one, or should I?
Yep,
Okay.
I got another good one. What would you be doing if you weren't working for WWE?
Oh, So I have an answer for this, believe it or not. I've always wanted to be a part of WWE since I was a kid, and I've been watching since I was a kid. However, I briefly considered a career as a choreographer. I love dance in every form. And, I think that could have been an avenue that I would have gone through, and potentially a marine biologist, which is really only because I do have a love of science and nature, and I did have one teacher actually in high school whose name was Mr. McCarowitz, who was so passionate about marine biology that he just engaged you. You couldn't help but then be passionate about marine biology, and I just learned a lot from him.
Great. Got another question from last night. What's your favorite part about your job?
My favorite part about my job is that I get to go out and build and represent the brand that I love so much, that I'm so passionate about. And, if you've ever watched some of my interviews, you'll see that I talk about our mission is to put smiles on people's faces the world over. And I can't think of a better brand to be a part of than somebody who does that for people, than a brand that does that for people. And when you think about it, whenever you hear somebody tell a wrestling story, if you will, whether they ran into somebody at an airport, or they went to a live event with their relative or friend or what have you at various stages in their life, the response that you always get when people tell these stories is they're smiling. We somehow gave people an experience that made an impact on them, that enhanced a bonding experience with someone they were with, or that helped a sick child forget that they were sick, for just a couple of hours. And then that parent who sees their child having that amazing experience, that's what I love to do, to do everything I can to grow our brand and to make as many memories, that we possibly can.
So you recently completed your Eisenhower Fellowship. What was your favorite part of that experience?
My favorite part of the Eisenhower Fellowship is yet to come, because I think it's the outcomes that we can really make. The fellowship is comprised of some pretty amazing people all over the world, and everyone has these big ideas of how we can work together to truly make an impact in a positive way. And so I think my favorite part is yet to come. One of my biggest takeaways, however, from the fellowship is how everybody's all the same. No matter what country we're from, no matter what socioeconomic background, that we have, ultimately, deep down, our experiences may be different, but as people, we're all the same. And that was a big takeaway for me, and it shouldn't have been such a surprise, but it was. So that was one of my key takeaways thus far.
We all know you have a crazy schedule with travel and work and everything. How do you like to spend your free time?
What is this free time? I spend my free time with my kids, and my husband. That's what fulfills me. I was asked earlier what motivates me. They do. So whether it's, movie night, where we sort of roll out sleeping bags and blankets and order pizza and watch movies together as a family, or game night where we basically do the same thing but play games, that's usually goes horribly wrong and results in some sort of fighting. But it's fun in the beginning anyway. And it's just something we all do together. Or if it's, going to the movies, actually going to the movies, or taking a trip, or whatever it is, just spending time with my kids and my husband. That's what I like to do in my free time. And I've just been given the cue that our Q&A time is up. So thank you guys so much for participating, for continuing to engage, through Twitter and Facebook and everything else, and ask questions. And hopefully the book will, deliver and hopefully over-deliver on your expectations. And please continue to send in your ideas and what you really do want out of this book. Thanks.